Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. Yes, there are value stocks out there to be had. You just have to look for them. Actually, we look for them for you and pass them on to you. Tracey Ryniec does anyway. She stops by here periodically to talk about them. And we have a couple of more that she wants to make sure that you are aware of this time around. The Andersons is another one. This sounds like a 1950s sitcom or something. The Andersons. ANDE is the ticker symbol. They are an agribusiness company.
They are. They were founded in Ohio originally as a single grain elevator, but now they're in 16 states and Puerto Rico. They have a couple different segments, but their two biggest ones are really hot right now, which is really fueling their earnings.
So now they have 16 grain elevators.
Well, more than that, actually. They have the nutrient group, which is basically the fertilizers, and that really fueled their earnings in 2007, 2008 as fertilizer prices soared. But then they crashed, so it wasn't good. But it has seen a rebound. Revenues in that segment were up in the second quarter by 15%, and it was their second best second quarter ever in the fertilizer group. You can really see fertilizer starting to pick up again as the farmers were destocking last year because things were not good, but they're increasing their inventories this year. So that's a good sign for them going forward. You also have the grain and ethanol group, which had its best second quarter ever, and that's their biggest group. That's also driving a lot of their revenue. They are seeing some weakness in a few of their other segments. They have a rail car leasing segment and like a turf and specialty group segment. Those are a little weaker, but the other two are so much bigger that they're counteracting that right now. So, you know, it has some good fundamentals. They didn't give guidance. They did just beat on the estimates for the second quarter, but the analysts are all feeling pretty good to raise estimates for the full year, and a little weakness on the third quarter for some reason, but full year looks good, next year looks good, earnings are continuing to grow here. The stock isn't very expensive. It's trading a little over 11 times, which is attractive in their peer group. And you're seeing some of this play on the agriculture sector, which is a good area to be in right here. The stock has been kind of treading water a little bit recently. It had a big bounce off the March 2009 lows, like a lot of these companies did, which is probably what makes it kind of attractive here with its lower valuation. But yeah, it's an interesting company right here.
But overall, a pretty consistent performer.
Yes.
Over the recent past, anyway. Quaker Chemical, KWR, another one, specialty chemical company.
Right.
Yeah,
you know I like them.
Fast to these things.
I know.
It's easy when you have it right in front of you.
You know,
what is it about these that you like lately?
Well, they're all the building blocks of, you know, manufacturing, basically. They were all slammed down during the crisis because manufacturing was crushed. But they are the first thing you need when your business picks up. And Quaker is kind of interesting because they do specialty chemicals for miners and like metalworking, and they do a lot with the steel industry. So they're worldwide, and they have a lot of customers in Brazil and China. And as we know, the Chinese on the metal side is really still, you know, picked up steam and is going full throttle. So Quaker is killing it, actually. They had a really big beat in the second quarter, and they saw revenues, you know, jump double digits. Their volumes were up double digits globally. That's even in North America. But it was really Brazil and China and the emerging markets that really fueled this big earnings jump. They're expecting record earnings in 2010, which tells you kind of...
It's a big statement.
Yeah, that, and they're still saying it, you know, and we're halfway through the year. But, you know, you're not hearing that from many people. Like, we still expect it, and they do. So they're still seeing that things are not slowing in at least their bigger markets like Brazil and China. The estimates are all jumping here. They also didn't give any guidance. But the analysts, after a big beat that they had in the second quarter, are all raising. Things look good, and the stock actually hit new three-year highs recently, and it's pulled back a little bit in this recent slight downturn we have. But it's not very expensive here, even though the stock is at these new highs. It's trading also a little bit over 11 times, which is probably, you know, about in line with its peer group. But there's still some growth here, depending on what happens with the overall manufacturing sector worldwide and things like that. But they don't see the slowdown.
That's interesting. We'll have to keep our eye on them.
Yeah.
You do that for us. Do you own either of these two?
I do not.
All right. If you want to check out more Zacks Rank Buy stock pick ideas, go to our homepage if you're not there already. We put 4 new stock pick ideas up for you daily, one in each of the investing categories that we write about on Zacks.com. With Tracey Ryniec, I'm Terry Ruffolo.